Hello, my name is Kaylee, and in this presentation, I will be giving an overview of the Beat Generation, including examples of prominent figures and writers, specific aspects and characteristics of this generation and movement period, and some of its impacts and influences that it had on society then as well as today. The Beat Generation was a literary and cultural movement that emerged in the 1940s and 50s. It challenged post-war conformity and embraced spontaneity, spiritual exploration, and personal freedom. The Beats rejected materialism and praised nonconformity. Their works, often controversial, explored themes of identity, alienation, and rebellion. The Beat Generation emerged from a group of writers who met in New York City in the 1940s. Writers like Jack Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg, and William S. Burroughs formed the core of this movement, drawing inspiration from jazz, existential philosophy, and spirituality. Their shared rejection of conventional lifestyles led them to seek meaning in travel, poetry, and countercultural experiences. Jack Kerouac, often called the voice of the Beat Generation, developed a style called spontaneous prose. His novel On the Road follows restless young men searching for meaning across America. Kerouac wrote, "The only people for me are the mad ones, the ones who are mad to live, mad to talk, mad to be saved." His work emphasized freedom, movement, and desire for experience. Ginsberg was the Beat movement's poetic force, best known for his poem Howl. The poem critiques capitalism and conformity. Ginsberg's writing was personal and political, blending Buddhist philosophy with social critique. He wrote, "I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness," reflecting the frustration of young intellectuals. William S. Burroughs was the most avant-garde beat writer, known for his novel Naked Lunch. He used the cut-up technique, which was randomly rearranging text. Burroughs explored themes of addiction, control, and societal decay. He once said, "The word is now a virus," reflecting his belief that language itself shapes thought and perception in dangerous ways. My thesis about the Beat Generation is, while the Beat Generation was an important literary movement, it could also be considered a cultural revolution that redefined self-expression. Their radical rejection of mainstream values and embracement of alternative lifestyles reshaped literature, music, and social activism. The Beats were heavily influenced by jazz, particularly the improvisational energy of bebop musicians like Charlie Parker, Miles Davis, and others. Allen Ginsberg and Jack Kerouac were known to frequent the after hours of basement jazz clubs, where they drew much of their inspiration from for their writing. Many Beats, especially Ginsberg and Kerouac, were drawn to Buddhism and Eastern spirituality as an alternative to Western materialism. Kerouac's The Dharma Bums explores Zen Buddhism, meditation, and the search for enlightenment. Ginsberg incorporated Buddhist philosophy into his activism, advocating for peace and mindfulness in a world consumed by greed. The Beats explored themes of sexuality and identity long before the LGBTQ rights movement gained mainstream attention. Ginsberg was openly gay and wrote about queer relationships in Howl. His poetry challenged heteronormative perceptions, advocating for sexual liberation and the right to love freely. Many beat writers experimented with many new and different kinds of drugs, believing that substances like marijuana and psychedelics could expand consciousness. While drug use was controversial, the Beats saw it as a tool for breaking free from conventional thought and exploring new artistic perspectives. Travel was central to the Beat Generation. In their eyes, it symbolized freedom and self-discovery. On the Road captures the thrill of hitchhiking across America, seeking adventure and embracing the unknown. The Beats rejected stability, preferring the open road, urban life, and spontaneous encounters wherever they would go. The Beats rejected consumer culture and suburban conformity, viewing mainstream society as soulless and oppressive. In Howl, Ginsberg critiqued Moloch, a metaphor for capitalism's dehumanizing effects. The Beats saw spiritual fulfillment, artistic expression, and raw experience as more valuable than material success. Although not overtly political, the Beats laid the groundwork for the social movements of the 1960s. Their anti-establishment attitude influenced civil rights activism, the hippie movement, and opposition to the Vietnam War. Ginsberg became a key figure in protest culture, using poetry to advocate for peace and justice. Scholar Rona C. Johnson states, "The Beat aesthetic of rebellion and spontaneity reshaped American identity, carving space for new voices to emerge. This highlights how the Beats expanded the boundaries of literature and culture, challenging societal norms and inspiring countless artists, poets, and activists. The Beats inspired musicians like Bob Dylan, the Beatles, and Patti Smith. Dylan's poetic lyrics echo Ginsberg's free verse style, while the Beatles' interest in Eastern spirituality mirrors the Beats' fascination with Buddhism. Rock and punk music inherited the Beats' rebellious energy and commitment to artistic freedom. Women played a crucial role in shaping ideas of the Beat movement as well. Poets like Diane DePrima and Anne Waldman challenged both literary conventions and gender norms. DePrima's Memoirs of a Beatnik offered a rare female perspective on the movement. She wrote, "There is no way of being a creative person without truly being a revolutionary." Despite their influence, the Beats faced criticism. Some accused them of glorifying hedonism, while others pointed out the movement's gender imbalance. Mainstream critics dismissed their work as self-indulgent or crude. However, their impact on literature and culture remains undeniable, continuing to inspire generations. The Beat generation's influence extends far beyond literature. Their radical ideas on freedom, self-expression, and nonconformity shaped modern art, music, and activism. Their emphasis on mindfulness, environmentalism, and rejecting consumer culture resonates with today's movements for sustainability and social justice. The Beat generation was more than a literary movement. It was a cultural rebellion that reshaped self-expression. Their works remain relevant today, encouraging us to seek meaning beyond consumer culture. As Ginsberg once said, "Follow your inner moonlight, don't hide the madness."